Washington, you and I had a conversation prior to the meeting, and I told you that I agreed that we need to make everything equal and that we will continue to take a look at it. Is that correct?
Yes, we had that conversation right before this meeting.
I just want to point out a couple of things because I too did a lot of research on the business licenses. The intent, in my opinion, was not to deny anyone a business license, but to protect our citizens. And I'll give you some statistics. When you talk about moral turpitude, the Attorney General's office has some definitions or some categories that moral turpitude offenses fall. And it's not anywhere near complete, but it includes counterfeiting, forgery, embezzlement, extortion, blackmail, false pretenses, swindle, confidence game, credit card or automatic teller fraud, impersonation, welfare fraud, identity theft, hacking, and computer invasion. Just a few examples. Then I went to SLED's database and asked that to give me some victimology of the categories of people that fall under those crimes. People 65 and over, 55 and over are most likely to be victims of those types of crimes. Women are more likely than men to be victims of these crimes. Women are also more likely to be the victims of crimes generally. Now, racial makeup of the victims of these types of crimes is pretty evenly split between black and white. But my point is, the intent of the language was not to deny, though I will admit, Mr. Washington, as you so eloquently stated, that the unintended consequences may be that. But the intent was to protect our people. I'll give you an example of just one. And also, those citizens who have been convicted, it says may deny, but it says may deny if you've been convicted in the type of business that you're trying to open. Somebody that has gotten arrested for drugs is not going to be denied a business license for opening a barbershop or any other business such as that. But someone that has been convicted of child molestation or crimes of children, do we want them opening businesses? So again, the intent is to protect those people. I got a bunch of other, I got a whole bunch of stuff. It really doesn't matter. It's already out there. It matters. Well,
people don't want it.
The word.
Anyway, we have. No, I'm just saying there's just no need to be going through this stuff because you already demonstrated that.
That's correct.
And I'm willing to listen and work with you. So, with that being said, any other comments? Okay. Next item on the agenda. Committee reports. The fiscal secretary.
Would you explain to them that they'll have a chance to talk to public comment?
We're coming to that. Nobody's dismissing or closing the meeting, okay? So don't get excited. You just go follow the agenda.
We are excited.
And then when you get down to public comment, I'll open it up to anybody that wants to speak and speak. Everybody in agreement with that?
No, sir, we're not.
What do you not agree?
We wanna address this issue before we
While
go
we're at
that
the
far.
table.
Why we still got it rolling real hot? So we wanna address it right now.
Yeah.
Are we gonna stick to the agenda? Everybody will be given a chance to speak. The fiscal tax and profit committee did meet, and we had discussion, no action was taken. Do we have any reports from council members? Monthly reports.
I would just like to take a few minutes, to share something that is very important to me as a veteran and very important to you, because we have over 13,000 veterans in this county. And I know you are related if you are not a veteran yourself. So every year I've been keeping a report on the veterans, particularly the veterans that have served and have passed away. And I'd just like to give you a brief synopsis on what I found out from January 1st, 2023 until 31 December. We had a total of 132 veterans that passed away. Race, there were 101 was white males, 26 were black males, 5 were white females, and we had no black females. The military branch mostly affected was 53 of them was Air Force, 48 Army, 17 Navy, 10 Marines, and then we had 4 Coast Guard. The average age range was 34 to 98, but 77.4 it was the average age. Military campaign, 32 served in Vietnam, 15 in Korea, and we had 4 in World War II and 2 in the Gulf War. Retired veterans, those are ones that have served 20 plus years of service, 49, which is 37% of the people that have died were retired veterans. And I just wanted to share that as a veteran, and I know that my comrade there, who just led the national, he also served 26 years in the military. Bless you, brother. Thank you.
County administrative reports. Monthly reports.
In your packet, council members, you'll see the sheriff's monthly report for the month of December. And please pay close attention to the fact that the sheriff's office yearly report is also in your packet for 2023. And you have Karen Hyatt, the Public Works Department, has its monthly report there. And council members that may be interested in the 2024 South Carolina Rules Summit, please let me know. Council members, I placed in your packet this flyer because it didn't scan properly, but it is an invite to you all for February 12th public speaking. The chamber retreat is the first weekend in February. If council members need anything, please let me know concerning that. Lastly, you have in your packet a save the date for the Tuskegee Airmen, just a second, Tuskegee Airmen Monument Dedication Ceremony for Friday, February 9th. More information will be provided to you at a later date. That's it. That's all.
Now come to the public comment portion of our agenda with citizens desiring to speak to council on any subject can do so. Please keep in mind that you're limited to up to 3 minutes. Comments to be made to the chairman. Anyone wishing to speak to council, please proceed to the podium and state your name for the record. Public comment is now open.
Excuse me, good afternoon, council members. My name is Dr. Elaine Bunsen. I'm located at 301 South Main Street. I first would like to thank County Councilman Washington, County Councilman, County Councilman, woman. We don't have many women up here, so I keep fumbling on that word, Gainey, and also Mr. Baton. Also, I would like to thank, who is not in attendance, Attorney Leon Wilkerson, the South Carolina Small Business Chamber of Commerce, the ACLU, DISA, the Sumter Black Chamber of Commerce, and also Ms. Liz Kilgore of the Sumter branch of the NAACP. Those are just a few of our allies, and just as our petitions are growing, our allies are growing, and this time I'm not begging, people are actually calling us. I would like to take this moment and thank our allies. Like I said, we are fighting to end gentrification. Gentrification is when elite individuals with a lot of money come into town and they basically squish out the low to moderate income community. That starts with residents and also small businesses. We are fighting to end gentrification. We're fighting to end discrimination against felons, veterans, low to moderate income community members, small business owners. I just wanted to let you know that we are watching and we are prepared to continue to watch. And our attorney is watching, and he too are studying laws around the nation. In reference to what Mr. McCain just said, he said that, I believe, if I misquoted, excuse me, if you do some time, it doesn't affect you. A person who, what he said, stole a CD, come out and sell CDs or something like that. Well, I would just like to let you know, Mr. McCain, that a person who sold marijuana illegally, after they serve their time, they can actually apply for a federal grant to grow marijuana legally. That's 5 years after they have served their time. So actually, if you're incorrect, a person who did a crime can actually come out and legally do the same thing now legally. It won't be a crime.
Well, that's it. Thank you, Ms. Thompson.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, council members. My name is Elizabeth R. Kilgore, President of the NAACP Sumter County branch. Speaking on behalf of this branch, the 500 plus members regarding the business license. The NAACP Sumter County branch is committed to ensuring the political, educational, social, and economic equality of all citizens. We envision an inclusive Sumter community rooted in liberation, where all people can exercise their civil and human rights without discrimination. The county's current business license ordinance contains language and conditions that could potentially hinder those seeking viable pathways to re-enter society and establish legitimate economic stability. Sumter City Council recently passed even more restrictive language to suspend, revoke, or deny business licenses for formerly incarcerated individuals. We are equally concerned about the language contained within the county's ordinance. Many in the community feel the restrictions add another layer of prosecution. Republican Governor Henry McMaster recently signed a new law to reduce occupational licensing barriers for people with criminal records. According to the Director of Criminal Justice Policy, Reason Foundation, South Carolina's new law clarifies that applicants may not be denied licensure based solely on a prior criminal conviction unless the conviction is directly related to the duties, responsibilities, or fitness of the occupation or profession for which the applicant is seeking license. Meanwhile, Sumter County is hard at work creating barriers to employment for people with criminal backgrounds, but simultaneously promoting economic development endeavors to attract major new businesses to the area. Did you know small businesses account for nearly half of all American jobs and played a major role in job creation following the COVID-19 pandemic shutdowns. The NAACP Sumter County branch fully supports the removal of any unnecessary barriers within the county's business license ordinance that impede the successful transition and contribution to quality of life by all citizens. Moreover, we are hopeful every member of Sumter County Council will genuinely and thoughtfully examine the concerns raised herein and unanimously support the retraction of unnecessary barriers that impede quality of life for all citizens. Some of our elected officials, this would have hindered them if they were serving, trying to get a job, open up a business then. So I just want us to think about where we are with what we are trying to do. Thank you for your time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr.
Good evening, Council, and everybody that's present. My name is Derek Gamble. I'm the Executive Director of Clean Slate Reentry Program here in Sumter County. For the past 7 years, I've housed hundreds of returning citizens from incarceration. You know, I do a lot of work with the state of South Carolina Department of Corrections, probation and parole. Sumter has been pretty welcoming for the most part to the individuals coming back and living in society and living up under my tutelage. I'm going to share something that anybody that's on Facebook will know. I will give you who I am now, and I will also give you who I used to be. I'm Derek Gamble, Executive Director of Clean Slate Reentry Program, Workforce Development Instructor at Central Carolina. I was a City Council candidate in 2022. I almost was in the runoff for that. And I'm also a custodial parent of 2 young boys, 8 and 15. Back in the day, I was Derek Gamble, convicted cocaine dealer. I had 13 felonies, okay? When I got out of prison, I had to go out in front of the same courthouse over here in front of this library, and I sold hot dogs to make sure I could support my son. So I would not go back out there and sell dope, okay? I have passed the 10-year mark where it would be difficult for me to start a business. I've got my record of pardon and expunged, but I cannot sit back and watch other people that come behind me go through the same thing that is very restrictive, that stops them from being able to not just work menial jobs. No disrespect to our local employers like Pilgrims, but sometimes people have bigger aspirations than to cut chicken for the rest of their lives, okay? So, you know, I'm a prime example of what reentry can do. I started selling hot dogs. I ended up buying a vending machine business after that. I ended up getting my serve safe instructors, alcohol training and all of that with my community work. The local school system saw what I was doing and trying to help the formerly incarcerated. So they hired me on as a workforce development instructor. They did not put their foot on my neck based on what I used to do. It was very hard coming back after I did time in prison and see the same people that saw what I used to be still remind me of what I did 20 years ago. So I don't want other people to feel the same way that I did. So I would like for you guys to really take heed to trying to get rid of this language that would actually cause other people hurt, harm, and destruction in their life. If I was not able to get to where I was selling the hot dogs, I don't know where I would have been. That was a foundation after I got out of incarceration. Incarceration helped reform me, but the main thing is you just can't do all type of stuff to people and just think that it's going to be okay. Yeah. It's not. So I just want to let y'all know that I'm one of the ones that I work with these people every day. They live with me for up to a year. So besides law enforcement, I work more closely with formerly incarcerated people than anybody else in this community. So please give them a chance and let them do what they need to do to grow, okay? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Council, how you doing? Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Kwan Glover. I run River Farmers Market. I'm a convicted felon, did 10 years in prison, came home and opened up a farmers market that is a state-regulated farmers market. This situation means a lot to me. And saying that a lot of people helped me after I came home. And with that saying, it was not helping me on what I did, but what I was doing now. With this bill, you would limit people who want to do better and have another chance. You know, prison going to do one or two things for you. It's going to make you or break you. Because either you have to make a decision what you want to do to better yourself. And with this law, it's not giving people a chance who want to do right and want to do the right thing. I please ask you all to please relook at this. Please understand, because it's people that look up to me and look up to what I have done for the community. And that's what we now at a double jeopardy standard. Once you have done your time, I've done my time, I paid my debt to society. That should not mean that I go forward and then you're still putting your foot on my neck and saying that I can't open a business or I can't do this. That's the American dream, to come out to, I was here and now I'm here. So please strike this law down, because it's people that if we can reach out and help and put your hand out, like many people in this room, Dr. Miss it's limited, half the room in here, River Farmers Market here, sir, Mr. Green. I can't even explain where I would be if these people didn't reach out and help me to get where I am. And also, I just wanted to know, we have a certified market by the state of South Carolina in River here. And Dr. Rose, I had the room. I'm a community. I speak for the community. And I just really want y'all to look at, this is overreach. It's not fair. And please, y'all have the power. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Glover.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I too, I don't know who was speaking, but I too am not from here.
Sir, state your name for the record.
Nathaniel Tony.
I'm sorry.
Nathaniel Tony.
Tony?
Yes. Yes, sir. But however, I have been a resident of Sumter County or City for the last 10 years or so. I see some familiar faces here and some not so familiar. However, as I became aware of this ordinance as it stands, I wanted to let you know who I am. I see a lot of seasoned community members that have been successful in their businesses after, their tests and after they learned their lesson. And I just want you to know that I might not be that seasoned, but I too had been in a situation where it was not good, and I too became a felon. That started a very dark time in my life, not because I didn't know what to do. They wouldn't let me do it no more. I went to some of these companies, these big major companies that you all approved with the swipe of a pen, millions and millions of dollars of transactions, and they would not give me a job that I was well qualified for. So after you keep on, you got to find something, right? The gentleman said he had to put food on his table's family, on his family's table. I had to do the same thing. I am the father of 8 beautiful children. And if I had not come to terms to sell hot dogs like I'm doing right now, I would not be able to care for them. I would not be able to be an example for my godson when he wants to pursue his music career, or my little niece that she made this sweatshirt for me right here. You guys have the authority and you have the mental. Like, it's not difficult. We use these fancy words and we use them all eloquently and we swing and swap, but it's just nitty gritty common sense. And then you're doing stuff, you use words like, what was the word? Moral turpitude. Man, it's some people in here that might have slept on their arm on their husband or their wife. Is that not immoral? I'll get you a little giggle, but I'm just saying, y'all, we got to do the right things, It's fun. It's funny. It is fun. That's what rap got to be done. If you don't stand for the people, then we have to replace you.
Yeah.
It's evident here today that we ain't going for this. We're not going for this. We put you here. I watched body language. You wasn't listening to some of the individuals speaking. That was not fair, it's not right. And those are the same things that we experience out here in this community that we trying to build up. So I hope that you all listen to everybody in here and do something with that ordinance. Y'all have a great evening.
My name is James Clark. Some of y'all already know me, some of y'all don't. I've been a resident of Sumter County most all my life. And pretty much all I ever did was break the law. I've been indicted by the feds twice. Most of y'all know my story. I went viral a couple of times of what Sumter County did. But for the most part, I was able to turn my life around. And when I read this new ordinance about the vendor's license and who wakes up and decide I'm going to set that particular group of people back? Who wakes up and thinks like that? That's not a normal way of thinking. Nobody wakes up and say I'm going to set this group of people back. And it's something that's a personal thing. That's personal. I keep in my wallet with me everywhere I go. This is my federal ID. I keep this with me. I ain't never going back. This is my TWIC card. The government gave me this and said, Mr. Clark, we believe in your future, we believe in you, and you can go on any base and any government site that we got. Then I can listen to what y'all talking about. Y'all pretty much saying y'all trying to override the government. That don't make no sense. It doesn't. When I came home from federal prison, I tried to fill out applications all around Sumter County. I went back to Columbia to the federal building. I tell the U.S. Marshal, come get me. He said, what you did? I said, I ain't did nothing yet. I said, y'all got me back out here. I can't get no job. I can't do nothing. He said, what do you want to do? I said, man, I want to go to truck driving school. Sure enough, he said, where you want to go? I said, I want to go to Extra Mile. He called the probation officer sent me a check down there. I went to truck driving school, and I started my own trucking company. And then, on top of that, you guys sitting up here acting like running a business is easy. That's hard work. Just because you got a business, oh yeah, I got a business, that don't mean nothing. You got to be profitable in that business. I started my business in 2012. I had 9 trucks and 11 drivers. I made $750,000 that year and walk away with nothing because nobody taught me how to run no business. So you sitting up here talking about, oh, but you got a license or you got a big fellow, you what? Nah, it takes more than that to run a business. Just because a lot of these guys got businesses, that don't mean they're making no money. That's just the hope that they're able to try. Yeah, you gotta find something better to do, man, please.
How y'all doing today? My name is Tyron Caesar, and I'm currently a business owner. I own a barbershop. I just want to say, I just think that this ordinance is way out of line because I'm a felon, and by me being a felon, it's hard getting jobs, so it's hard for me to get a job. I have 4 kids I had to provide for. So the only thing that I could have did was took my craft and open a business. So what y'all saying that y'all willing to take that away from people, that's kind of hurtful, knowing that we don't have no other light or nothing to do to provide. And that's the only way that we probably can be able to make something out of it, is to have a business, because like I say, fellas, y'all already trying to say we can't have jobs, we can't do stuff just because we made a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. But that ain't entitled for y'all to hold it against us. Because at the end of the day, we are men, and men do make mistakes. But like I say, I'm a businessman, I own a barbershop, and I'm a felon, so I just had to come out here and give my 2 cents.
Hey, good evening, Council. My name is Corey Robinson. I was born and raised in Pinewood, South Carolina. I now live in Sumter County. This February 5th, I would have been released from federal prison 17 years. I did 3 years, and I did a year and a half on federal parole before going in. So my crime is over 21 years old. 21 years old. I own Driving Out Motors in Sumter, 3171 Broad Street. First time y'all probably saw my face, but everybody's heard the name. Because pretty much anybody in higher power really don't care for me at all. I've been told by higher ups in this town, maybe like 4 years ago, that I will always be considered as a drug dealer. I was listening about the plant that's putting $17 million. They hiring 10 new employees. They had 25 employees. And they had another 25 employees. Won't compare how many people I employ in this town. Never. In the last 17 years, I probably employed more people than anybody on that council. I stand behind the community. I move slow. They gonna always consider me as a drug dealer. My mother's here. She even asked me why I even moved back to Sumter. I said, because I ain't gonna let them run me. I ain't gonna never let nobody run me. I ain't gonna never. It's over 10 years, but I came to speak because it's not fair to other people. People want to start their own businesses. When you're incarcerated, they put you through programs. Federal. I never did it in state time. But when you go through the federal, they make you do programs. You have to do programs to start your own business or building trades, electrical, because they don't want you going back out there selling drugs. And I hear that, oh, it's a black thing. White, Chinese, everybody, plenty of people got fellas. But one thing about when I saw it, I've been hearing about it, I never took part of it. Because with me, I don't care who name my business is, I'm gonna run business.
Alright.
So if they take the license away from me, I'll shut the door and be back open in 30 days.
Come on now.
My thing is, it's not fair. It's not just to make people have to run and hide. I've run and hide for the last 17 years. I know they don't like me, and I just keep applying pressure. I'm going to do business. I'm going to open business. In these last 17 years, I've buried people who couldn't afford to have a funeral, feed people, give back to the community, Halloween parties, giving thousands and thousands of dollars in Christmas presents. But the thing is, God forgive me for my sins. Jesus Christ died for my sins. For somebody else to judge somebody else and think that they're above God, it's definitely not any kind of way with anybody. When I've never been to a county council meeting, and when I heard the lady pray, I said, some of them shouldn't just go ahead and sit down and not even bow their head if they're going through with this. My time is almost up. I appreciate y'all's time. Take this in consideration, not just for black people, white people, whatever color in the community. Small businesses, people don't want to go work to go kiss, and they go work 50 hours, and they're making $12, and they bring home $600, and then they walk out with $350, and the rent $350, and there's so many single mothers out here that's doing it. So you want to push. If anything, we should have people, we should have orders come in where we're putting people into the community or having programs to help them do business or help their kids, teach them about credit, teach them about, being a better person. I certainly appreciate y'all time. Please take this in consideration. The best thing that could ever happen to somebody who's been incarcerated is trying to be on their own and taking that same hustle, the same hustle that I did selling drugs, The same hustle I do every day. Thank you.
Corey, before you take your seat, Mr. Chairman, if you would allow, could you repeat one thing? What were you told when you were trying to start a business?
Oh, well,
You and I have talked.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
know a little bit more, but
yeah, when,
as much as you feel like.
yeah, when, okay, so a year ago, I purchased a building downtown Sumter, and I saw this ordinance. I paid a mortgage, $3,000 every month. I'm afraid to open a business, because I already know they're gonna shut me down. But I've already talked to attorneys. I've always talked to attorneys, and one thing about it, God favors me.
So,
He definitely does.
All right.
I appreciate y'all time.
thank you, bro.
That's the man.
Good evening. My name is Raymond Charles. Let me start by saying, Councilman Washington, you are the change we need in this community. Bringing this up. To the rest of the council members that are before me, if I could have your attention for just a moment and ask you a simple question. Have you ever made a mistake? Let me ask you that again. Have you ever made a mistake? You can take your time. I'm glad I got your attention now. Let me just start by speaking for the room. When I say enough is enough. Enough is enough. Everyone deserves a second chance. And let me bring it home for those of you sitting up there. That's why you run for re-election, because you think that you deserve a second chance. All right? If not, then you wouldn't run for re-election. And you have done a lot of things in this community that we have just let pass by and swept under the rug. Number one is you gave us hope centers with no hope. You shut down Southside Gym and didn't do anything for us.
Yes.
And then when the community decided to speak up, you tried to move the agenda for us. When you ran for the seat for election time, you said that you were for the people.
Yeah.
We're not seeing that today. Just remember one thing. At the end of the day, you work for us.
Yes.
Our vote matters.
Yes.
Our opinion matters.
Yes.
And what you do in regards to this vote, we will remember that day on election day.
Yes, we will.